Welcome to the official podcast where the bombs get thrown. I'm your host, May Shayla Bogan, and I introduce to you the Mike Bomb Podcast.
This is my night, this is my pain, this is my life, this is what I was born to do, I was born to do, every new day, every new night, every new stage, every new fight, this is what I was born to do, I was born to do, Fall to my knees every night and I pray, asking Lord let him hear, I got something to say. There's a fear out there and it's coming your way. Don't let it stop you from living for what you were made. It's not a dream, it's a destiny.
All right. Welcome to the Mike Bomb Podcast with your host, May Shayla, as I will be starting off this episode with my very special guest, Mr. Young Heavy from Sports After Dark. Hev, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, that intro was dope. I was in the background getting my little jig going. I'm like, all right, let's do a rocket. That was a nice intro. That was dope.
Thank you. I tried my best. Trust me. You don't even want to know the story, but thanks. All right, so all right, man. It's a lot to talk about on this episode because obviously you're an NBA, NFL fan, just like I am, but I'm pretty sure because we share the same common exact basketball team, who we're going to be kicking off this episode, unfortunately, having to discuss the loss of. And that is our fellow Los Angeles Lakers, who was swept in the NBA Western Conference Finals to the Denver Nuggets. I'm pretty sure you can understand my thoughts on this, but I'm here to hear yours. So lay it away.
First and foremost, I thank you for inviting me on your podcast. I'm honored and grateful that you asked me to come on your show. I never take it for granted. You know what I mean? So I truly appreciate it. And shout out to you and what you got going on. You're a very dope woman and you're very dope at what you do and your knowledge about the game of football and basketball. I never met a more passionate Steelers fan than you or a Lakers fan. So, you know what I'm saying? You're really dope. I didn't think we were going to get swept, Shay. Didn't see that coming at all. I actually thought we were going to win. You know, just the whole storyline behind it. I'm like, dang, you know, Bron in his 20th year, we did 7th seed in the play-in. We beat the Grizzlies that everybody thought we was going to lose to. Then we played the Warriors, beat them in 6. Everybody thought we was going to lose to them. I'm like, yo, this might be a chance we might do some Cinderella type, like what the Heat is doing. I'm like, yo, we might pull off something like that. And to get swept by the Nuggets was ugly to see because there were a lot of games. Yeah, it was embarrassing. It was especially to watch the Heat win a game in Denver and we couldn't win a game. And I know we're a better team than the Heat, so that was definitely ugly to see. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you because it's like we talk about the Lakers all the time, and we talk about how they were pretty much for the first time in like a long time, they were the underdogs entering the postseason because many people still believe it was a fluke that they got all the way there, and they use injuries and team deficiencies as an excuse. But people don't understand this was once a 2-10 Los Angeles Lakers team. It was once a 2-10 Los Angeles Lakers team. And this team wasn't even thought to be in the conversation for the playoffs. And they made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. But the standard is the standard in LA. So therefore, many people like myself, unfortunately, have to consider it a failure. And that's going to be every year when the Lakers are not the NBA champions. That's the cons of being a high-class organization who pretty much set the bar that all other teams in the NBA, including the Celtics, has followed. But we got to speak on it because people say that it's a fluke, but I'm like, it's not a fluke this team got there. The team got there because they made the changes that were needed, which is the opposite, in my right opinion, of what they did in the Western Conference Finals. I think they made the wrong change. I think they made the right changes, but at the wrong times. I don't think you should have made changes like that when you're down 0-3 and you're 0-1 at home, and you know that this team is like, Rui Hachimura already pointed out that this team is bigger and maybe more muscular. So you had to use your best abilities. And unfortunately, Darvin Ham just did not do that and put this team in position to not do that. And that's what led to this Lakers team losing. And it sucks that we had to watch that. I mean, this is the second time in my life as a Laker fan I watched the Lakers get swept. And many people was like, oh yeah, well Kobe this, Kobe that. But Kobe did get swept. But see, here's the deal. I never seen him get destroyed like that. And I never seen his team give up like that. I saw his team give up when they pretty much knew the game was over with in Dallas, when it was already to a point their bench was just coming off and just scoring points. The pros about this swept is the fact that the Nuggets just didn't take out their series. They didn't take out their starters. They kept them in. And I think that they had better rotations, better defense, better offensive plays and schemes, something that Darvin Ham, even with the Lakers wins, has struggled with throughout this year. And I think where people's frustration lies with Darvin Ham is that the talent is there. There's no excuses. You got shooters, you got defensive players. You just didn't use them to the best ability. They feel like even though Mo Bamba was hurt, but if he had a shot of playing, he should have saw something. They feel like Rui should have been in the starting five the whole entire postseason, which I definitely agree with. Him and Austin Reeves, I campaign for, and I'm definitely praying that they both stay in LA. I would take them both over D'Angelo Russell, who to me was inconsistent the whole damn series. He definitely disappointed me.
Yeah, I agree with 100% what you're saying. You see, people don't understand. Like I had to tell like these LeBron fans that when I was having an argument with and I said y'all don't understand. If you haven't been a Lakers fan as long as we have, you know what I
Exactly.
mean. We go by a certain standard. You know what I mean.
Here, Lakers fans, we've been here when it
Yeah,
was in, you know,
yeah,
who, oh man, I don't even want to mention the name they drafted in 2014 as their center. We see
yeah,
Kobe on his final leg, and we see Jack crap after that. We
yeah,
on the show we keep it real. That's
yeah,
why it's the show where the
yeah,
bomb is thrown. LeBron, without question, brought the Lakers back to relevancy.
yeah,
But I don't like how these fans tell us Laker fans we're not, you know, right in title. In other words, to be as critical as his team because this and that. We watched the season. We watched it more than anybody. We're
yeah,
Laker fans. This is what we
yeah,
do.
yeah,
We You got people like you, me, others who podcast. My
yeah.
girl, my girl Lala. By the way, new Lakers podcast is coming out extremely soon. We're in the works of it, just so you know. But
Nice,
yeah, it's gonna be called Her Show, The Lake Show, all female Laker podcast. Just so you.
nice.
But yeah, people like us who've been through it all. We watched it. Like when I first started watching basketball, yes, because I'm being from New Jersey, I know, I heard of the Knicks.
Hmm.
I heard of the Nets. They were in New Jersey, New York, New Jersey, New York, so on. Now they're back in Brooklyn. Don't tell me about those teams. I can tell you about those teams because those are my home teams. But
Right.
everyone, we know that here's been my sports team since day one. Steelers, Lakers, Yankees. When I started watching hockey, it became the Penguins. Devils is the team I root for if the Penguins are out. And then you had in WNBA, the LA Sparks. NCAA men's basketball, UNC Tar Heels. Call me a bandwagon, do whatever.
You know ball. You know ball.
Listen, my teams. I've been watching basketball since I was a kid. My mom used to play basketball heavy in high school. And then not only that, but she was a Duke fan, which I heard of the Tar Heels, and she's a Boston Celtics fan. So
Yeah.
that's how I got introduced to the Lakers. I liked Kobe more than I liked Carmelo Anthony. I like the Lakers culture more than I like them. And people thought I picked those teams because of the winning and all of that. The winning does come into play because that's something that you really want to be a part of, but it's
Yeah.
just the
Absolutely.
energy, it's just the passion. And
Hmm.
you pick your teams that you see that to me shares the same passion with the industry as you do. And those have been the teams who to me stood out the best in that. That's why I
Right.
picked those teams. But I think it bothers me that people like me and you and others, like I mentioned before, are not entitled because they feel like we're spoiled or we're this and we're that. But what they don't understand, this is a bar that's been followed before we were even born,
That's a
before
fact.
we were even thought of. Our
That-
parents were in
That's
high
a
school.
fact. That's a
This is
fact.
the bar that Jerry West, Magic
Mm-hmm.
Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
Mm-hmm.
set for the Kobe's, for the Shaqs, for the
Mm-hmm.
Derek Fishers, for the
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Odoms, and the Meta World Pieces, and the Paul Gasols. Now for the LeBrons, ADs, D'Los, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Mobama, and all these fellas. This has
Right.
always been the standard in the Lakers. Everyone knows, okay, yes, you got the Rams, yes, you got the Chargers, yes, you got the Kings, their hockey team, yes, you got the Trojans in UCLA. We know this, but we know that LA is a whole nother city, a whole nother atmosphere when the Lakers are up because you saw a city that was once dead did get turned inside out because they knew when the Lakers are in the conversation, they have hope for another finals or at least another championship parade in LA because that is the expectations, especially with the organization who you can definitely argue started it all for that city. And it's one of the best sports cities, without question, arguably the biggest market in the freaking country and in the damn world. So don't sit here and tell us who grew up watching that, who was embraced to that, who didn't like it at first because we felt like, okay, it ain't always going to happen. But when the players expect that, when the players before them expect that, when the coaches, when everyone, when my older cousins who are Laker fans are telling me, my mom's a damn Celtics fan, and she was telling me the expectations for the Lakers. So
Mm-hmm.
don't sit here and tell me who grew up into that and who was groomed into that
That's
technically
all we know.
that
That's all
that
we
we're
know.
not entitled because without
Yeah.
question, yes, LeBron played great, game 4. You
Yeah.
could question game 3.
You
You
definitely
could
can
definitely
question game three because I was hot. I was
yeah,
hot with him game
you
three.
could definitely question games 1 and 2 in Denver because the
Yeah.
whole damn team, in my opinion, was awful. And then it's
Yeah.
like when Austin Reeves showed up, no one else was following up with him, and that
Yeah.
was the problem right there.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, to me, Rui didn't really get the fair chance because he wasn't out there as much as he should have been. I
Yeah. That
think
was
he
on
should have been
Darvin
out
Ham.
there. It's just certain. It was just so much, and it's like the talent and the help was there. It was just not used to the right ability. That's how
Yeah.
I sum that up.
Yeah, I felt like Darvin Ham, he went back to his old ways in that series. Like, I agree with you 100%. Rui, after game one, you saw that D'Angelo Russell didn't have it. Now, I praised him in the other series when he knew Troy Brown Jr. and Malik Beasley didn't have it. He sat him on the bench and brought Lonnie Walker in, and it worked. So once you saw that D'Angelo Russell didn't have it, you should have started Rui. I wanted Rui to start every game, but it was like you waited too late to make those. Like you said, he waited too late to make those adjustments, and we were already down by then. You know what I mean? And it was like if you look at each game, we were one or few possessions away or a substitution away from winning those games. We could have easily won. I feel like if he would have made the right adjustments when he needed to, we would have won that series, and we would be in the NBA Finals right now. You know what I mean? But we got a lot to work on this offseason. I definitely don't want D'Angelo Russell back. I don't feel like he's a point guard that can play in his jersey and be able to deal with the pressure that comes with being a Laker. He played better this go around, but I feel like he doesn't have what it takes to be in his jersey and know what understands what it is to win as a Laker. Because like you said, us fans, all we know is winning. That's all we know. We don't know nothing else. A Western Conference Finals, yeah, that's cool because we started out 2-10, but that's not the standard for us. Like I'm not about to clap no moral victory because we made it to the Western Conference Finals. That's not what we used to. We used to raising banners. We're not used to moral victories. That's what the Clippers do. If you're a Clippers fan, that's what they do. They used to moral victories and all that. We're not
And the
used to
Grizzlies, don't forget the
that. Oh yeah, and the
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies, them too. They cool with all of that. We're not cool with that. So you know what I mean? That's the issue I have with the LeBron fans because they coddle him. They coddle him. They cool with him just doing enough to be good. And it's like our favorite player. No, he wasn't on that type time. If Kobe didn't win a title, he felt like that season was a failure. And that's
Exactly,
us
because
as
that's
fans.
what Magic and them set for him.
Yeah, that's what Magic said for them. You know, Magic and them was the same way. If it didn't end the title, it didn't work for them. It was a failure. So it's like you
Right.
said, you can't blame us for being embedded into that since we've been watching basketball because that's all we know. It's crazy being a Laker fan. It is. I love my Laker fans to death, but it's crazy being a Laker fan.
Honestly, I love the Lake Show, and like you, I got nothing but love for the Lake Show. Honestly, y'all are the one fan base, and I caught a little heat on Twitter not too long ago. I don't know whether you saw it or not, but I caught a little heat on Twitter not too long ago when I basically said I'm glad I'm a Lakers and Yankees fan because all I've been shown with since I joined those fan bases and ever since I was a kid was all love. And
Hmm.
I saw just nothing but unity. It's like you come for one, you come for us all. But the
That's a
criticism,
fact.
without question, you're gonna have dividends. And I believe, and that's still gonna be the case, and that's all fan bases. But the one thing the Lake Show definitely has is the same passion, the same love, and we're gonna have the same expectations and standards. And we're gonna root for our players, but when it's time to criticize their ass, we're gonna do so, and
That's a
rightfully
fact.
so, because we expect better. And I
That's a
caught a
fact.
little heat from that because a certain fan base that I'm a part of, who I'm not going to mention on this part of the episode, but we can mention down the road, um, just straight up didn't like that. So it's just like, whatever. But
Mhm. They'll
in
never
the end,
understand. They'll never
they'll never
understand
understand.
that.
They'll,
Like they don't get that. I told LeBron fans when LeBron came here, I said, listen, he's not gonna get no slack here. He's gonna get criticized here. He might not have got criticized in Cleveland and Miami, but this
oh,
fan base is a little different because
he
this
got
standard
it
is
in
much higher
Miami.
here.
And
Oh well, yeah, he
Miami is
got it.
following the standard that the Lakers and the
Oh yeah,
Celtics
true.
and
He
other
got it
teams
in
like that
Miami.
said. He got it
Yeah,
in Miami because the
yeah,
Heat fans ain't playing that garbage because of this.
yeah.
Because they like, okay, because basically they felt about Dwayne Wade how we feel about Kobe.
That's
Plain and
true.
simple.
They
So it's
love
like
Wade.
it's the certain things that just don't go down when they're around, and it ain't gonna happen when you're here if you're gonna take their place as the leader. Point
Yeah.
blank.
I agree 100%. So I just said, you know what I mean? Y'all got to understand, y'all LeBron fans that's coming over here because he's a Laker. Y'all only rocking for the Lakers because he's here,
Right.
So don't get mad when we criticize him because that's how we roll over here. It ain't just we just let him slide. When you don't play good, we don't care who you are with that jersey on. We're going to say something about it. We still going to root for you the next game.
Exactly. We're not
However,
going to say and say we want you off our team unless you're
yeah,
going to be like a D'Angelo Russell who stunk it up
yeah.
since, in my opinion, since Game 5 of the previous series.
He has been bad since that game. Since that game. And I crazy. I was shocked that it carried over to the Denver series because we needed him. And then what made it even worse is like, bro, you shooting all these jump shots after the game, each game, but in the game, you can't throw a quarter in the ocean. But after the game, you shooting all these threes after the game, and you can't throw a quarter in the ocean when the game is coming around. I didn't understand it. And even after we got swept, he after the game still shooting. I'm like, bro, the season's over. You might as well pack it up. You might as well pack it up, bro. It's a done deal for you.
Yeah, I appreciate his dedication, but we needed that to be shown on the court. And I think that's the reason why he's getting all the heat that he's getting because it was not. What we got from Austin Reeves is what we expected from him, if not better. And what we got from Rui when he had the chance to play and when he got his playing time is what we expected from him, and we did not get it. And we feel like, okay, so here's the deal. If you're not going to sit here and play up to the standard, then you need to sit on the bench. Lonnie Walker needs to replace you. Reeves needs to stay where he's at. Rui needs to be added into the lineup, and that should just be the end of that. And it wasn't. And I think Darvin Ham just the Lakers had so much talent, maybe a little too much for Darvin Ham, but you got to know how to work with that talent. It's LA and it's the Lakers. You're going to be loaded with talent. This is why this team and this organization is what it is because it's always had bench players who can be starters on other teams. And that's exactly what it had this year. And I don't think like Darvin Ham got understood. Okay, I don't think he understood that enough
Yeah,
to make sure what happened didn't happen. And the difference is, in my opinion, between the 2011 Lakers getting swept and this Laker team getting swept is this is a young Laker team. That
yeah,
Laker team was at the end of its road.
yeah, it
And
was.
we may have not seen that because we just wasn't paying attention because we was just so sure we was going to make it back,
Yeah,
especially as we were the back-to-back champions.
yeah.
But I looked at a couple of videos, I watched a lot of film, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize these flaws until then.
That team was
And
old.
but this Laker team is not. This Lakers team was just I I'll say they were outplayed, but I think what led to them being outplayed more than anything was them being outcoached. in
Yeah,
all
yeah,
phases,
I agree.
all phases,
I agree.
outcoached.
Mike Malone definitely outcoached Darvin Ham. It wasn't even close.
He
It wasn't
made
even
him look
close.
silly.
He did,
He
and it was
put
like,
him in a body bag, man.
and it was like
I
Ham
couldn't
couldn't
believe what
even
I saw.
adjust to it. And when he thought about adjusting to it, he waited too late to make any adjustments to it. And you can't do that in the playoffs. Playoffs is different. The regular season you can wing that, but in the playoffs you got to be quick with adjustment. That's why Eric Spoelstra, he's a huge reason why the Miami Heat are in the NBA Finals because he make adjustments on the fly, quick, halftime,
Yeah, he's an
quarter.
underrated head coach, in my opinion.
Absolutely,
Underrated
absolutely.
because the Heat has been to the okay. Can we still even count how many times Miami's been to the finals under his era?
This is their sixth time. It's their sixth time being to the finals under him
That's
as
a
Eric
lot for a
Spoelstra.
coach that don't get talked about often. We
I
talk about
agree.
Steve Kerr. We talked more about Darvin Ham this year than we did him.
That's true too. And Eric Spoelstra got 3 rings.
3. He coached LeBron. He
Yeah.
coached Dwayne. He
Yeah.
coached Chris Bosh. He coached these fellas. He coached Haslam, who,
Hmm.
well, I won't be surprised he's still on the Heat, but I don't think he is by now. But yeah, he coached a lot of these guys, and no recognition for his level of play.
Yeah.
I mean, his level of coaching. Correct me.
Yeah. And I just feel like Eric Spoelstra, he's a a coach that I wish we had because if we had Eric Spoelstra, we would be in the championship right now.
Oh
He
yeah,
just know how to make adjustments, and he know his personnel. He know what works and not what not to stay away from. He knows
right.
well at that. That's why I wasn't surprised that they won game 2 because he knew what adjustments needed to be made. He knew in the first game he was way too small, and Aaron Gordon was doing whatever he wanted. So he said, "Okay, I'm gonna start Kevin Love in this second game. I'm gonna give us more size in this game. And when Jokic is not in the game, I'm gonna play more zone. And what I'm gonna do is Jimmy Butler, we're gonna keep you on Jamal Murray the whole game. We ain't gonna wait majority of the game. We're gonna keep you on Jamal Murray the whole game." And it worked. It worked.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, I think is getting a lot of heat because of his trolling or whatever, but he earned that right, bro. He earned that right. No Tyler Hero, and you're in Miami now for game 3. That's going to be an exciting series, and I'm actually glad I'm watching that finals, but I wish it was the Lakers and the Heat because I think that is a series that the fans deserve to see without the
I agree.
bubble in front of the fans. I think LA and Miami will be crazy in the finals. We
I
got
agree.
robbed 2020 for that. But
We got robbed for that. We got robbed for a parade. I ain't gonna lie, Shay. I'm like, yo, we win the chip this year. I'm for sure going to LA for the parade. I was
yeah,
gonna
I
go.
was gonna fly out. I was gonna
Yeah.
fly out from Pitt to LA. No question.
Absolutely.
That's where
I
I'm
was
at right
gonna
now. I'm
make
in
my way
Pittsburgh.
out there. I was telling all my
But
Laker people I was in a group chat with. I'm like, listen, hey, we win this ship. Y'all that live out there, expect to see me because I'm definitely going. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I can't wait to go to one. I need a parade. I need a parade.
it's gonna come.
Whichever one of
It's
my
gonna come.
teams.
I feel like LeBron is gonna get. I feel like we're gonna win one more with LeBron before he retires.
Yes, and actually we're actually gonna get started on that. So
Mm.
before we get started, have I just gotta ask you thoughts on the team 2022-2023 season. You can short sentence this, do whatever.
I'll make it short. It was definitely depressing in the beginning of the season to look how bad we was, and it was. But us as Laker fans, even though how bad we are, we still gonna watch every game, and like that's just and us to watch. It was ugly because for one, I didn't like that we traded for Patrick Beverly. I didn't understand that trade at all. I'm like, you're going to add another player that can't shoot to be next to another player that
Who
really
can't
can't shoot,
shoot and is old as
and he's
hell.
old, and we don't have spacing on the floor as is. So now you make the spacing even tighter on the floor. So I didn't understand it. Didn't like it at first. So I was just begging for a trade the whole time. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those Russell Westbrook fans that was slandering him and calling Westbrook and all of that. But I just knew he didn't fit for the team. I just knew
He
he didn't
didn't.
fit. He didn't fit. So it just was like we needed to trade Russ. We needed to make that trade. Once we made the trade, I was happy as ever because I knew for a fact what we traded for was going to make us a better team. We needed a wing defender. We needed a guard that can shoot. And we needed another wing that can shoot and also defend, which was Rui Hachimura. Once we made those trades, I said, all right, I like this team. We can compete with this team. And it showed. We went 5-0 from the rim. As soon as we made the trades, we won 5 straight. And that was with LeBron either being on the floor or not being on the floor, or AD being on the floor or not being on the floor. So once
Yeah.
that went down, I'm like, all right, man, we got a chance to
Damn
maybe
near
win
the
a
whole
Super
team was
Bowl.
in and out.
Yeah, and we were still winning. So that's what made me think like, dang, if we winning like this, and we ain't even got our whole team together, imagine what we could look like going into the playoffs with LeBron and Anthony Davis. So that would have me excited, and we got to where we got to, and I was happy how we turned the season around. But it just like you said, if it ain't a title, then it don't matter. Don't matter to
Yeah,
me.
because that's what you play the game for at the end of the day is championships.
Yeah,
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. To me, if the standard for you is not to win it all, then you don't have no purpose of playing this year
I agree.
or any season
I
because
agree.
even though the expectations for you may not seem that way because obviously different teams going to be on different levels around certain time periods. It's rebuilding, reloading phases, which happens in all sports, except for tennis and all of them because that's a solo sport. But in team sports, we know how it goes and we know how it plays out. But like you said, man, it's a failure because it's like we didn't get our parade that we wanted.
Nope.
I feel like LeBron, without question, like I've said before, I'm gonna say it again. LeBron James is owed another NBA Finals ring from the Los Angeles Lakers. Based on how he played game 4, he is owed one. The Lakers owed one.
They
You
definitely are
can't
one.
have a man putting up 30 plus points or damn near 40, if not 40 points or, that range. And
Hmm.
everyone, exception of, okay, I'll exclude Austin Reeves. I,
Yeah,
I
Reeves
can
came to play.
I can
Reeves came to
exclude
play.
him, but I can't exclude anyone else.
No, not even
A
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, and
Anthony
AD was
Davis ain't
supposed to
even
be his
show
right
up.
hand man. You was supposed to
He
be
ain't
his right
even
hand
show
man,
up.
and it's like, yo, he needed you. He
Yeah,
was. It's like him and Reeves were pretty much in a 5-on-2 handicap match, even with 3 other people around them.
yeah. And it was sad. It was like, dang, we just was grinding LeBron up for what he did the game before, and then he come out and he leave it all out on the shield, defensively, offensively, and Anthony Davis just winging it. He just on cruise control, like he don't understand that we are a game away from being swept. Like it just,
And losing the damn series.
yeah, and it's like, come on, man. Like you gotta take more pride with playing in the Laker jersey, man. I know for a fact if that was Kobe next to Anthony Davis, oh, he would have dug in his behind for that performance. Kobe wouldn't have let that slide. Like Kobe would have had
Magic
something
wouldn't
to
let
say.
that slide.
Oh no, Magic wouldn't have let that slide either. They'd have been like, "Come on, dog. Like this ain't how we do, man. You
I don't
gotta you
think
gotta take more pride
anybody
playing in
from the
that jersey."
2000s or the 19 anybody between the 1980s to the late 2000s, early 2010s, anyone that was on those Laker teams would have not let that slide. I don't think so. That would have
I agree.
slide right there.
I agree 100%. I agree. How did
But
you feel about that season? You ain't give your input.
okay, we're gonna flip the script here. All right. I feel like this team did without question oversee the expectations based off of what was said about them. I'm gonna just say that right now. But here's why it's a failure to me because of the expectations that the Lakers have for themselves every year within their team culture. So unfortunately, we're basing it off of that, not everyone else's standards, because no one else gave a damn about the Lakers. People like me, people like you, we care about the Lakers. So therefore, it's our standards over anyone's. We don't give a damn. And so, with that being said, I just feel like it was a failure because no championship, no purpose. Point blank. That's the
Yeah.
mentality. That's what the bar was and the standard was before I was born. That's how it is now that I am living. And unfortunately, when the sun sets on me, whenever that may be, that's going to be the standard afterwards. Point blank.
Mhm.
The standard would stop being the standard when the Los Angeles Lakers stop being the Los Angeles Lakers. Point blank. And
Mhm.
when expectations are not met, when the standard isn't met or exceeded, it's a failure. So I feel like based off of everyone else's expectations, it was a success because everyone swore out the blue this Laker team wouldn't make the playoffs even after the trade deadline. We made it to the Western Conference Finals. So I guess you can clap for that. But here's why Laker Nation is not clapping. Because we know the standard, we knew the expectations, we spoke it into existence. Unfortunately, as a unit, the Los Angeles Lakers let us down, especially Darvin Ham getting out coached, getting punked, pretty much looking like an idiot, looking real damn stupid on national television. point blank.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, unfortunately, if we was basing it off of everyone else's standards, it would be a success. But on the Lakers standards, the Los Angeles Lakers season was a failure.
Mm. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. You have every right to be held to hold our team to that standard. You know, that's where we came from. That's all we know. So I ain't mad at that at all. I ain't mad at that at all. Mm. It sucks,
It's
man. It
unfortunate.
sucks because
It's unfortunate.
I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. Every time I watch this, I'm gonna be like, yo, we should be in the finals right now.
Yeah.
Since I watched these first two games, I've been like, we should be in the NBA finals right now. We shouldn't be home.
Yeah. There,
Shouldn't
man. We
be.
we're definitely gonna wait and see the NBA draft, and we're definitely gonna be looking at the off season to see how this is gonna play out. But speaking of
Yeah.
the off season, there's been speculating rumors. I think LeBron did put him to bed, but it was at one point he was saying he was gonna go home, rethink everything through. Then he came back and said there was a 98% chance or 98.8% chance that he will be returning next year in a Lakers uniform. It's he say, she say, nay say things. And obviously, a lot of LeBron reporting could be for clickbait. That's what they would call it in the sports world. It's clickbait. So, Mr. Hev, LeBron James retiring, or is everyone just overreacting?
People overreacting, man. People, we've been watching LeBron James since he came in the NBA. Like we know how he move in situations. You know what I mean? I feel like what he is trying to put some pressure on the Lakers though, because I feel like we are at LeBron is at a stage in his career where he's too old to be the primary scorer and playmaker. He needs to feed off somebody else, and which is fair. You know what I mean? 39 years old, and for him to be still playing at a level that he's playing is amazing. However, it's like for one, you think LeBron, if anybody even thought that, you think LeBron is going to leave off for one, getting swept like that, and two, he deserves a farewell tour. You
And
know,
being that close to an NBA Finals appearance.
yeah, you think he's going to leave like he's going to retire on that type of note? Absolutely not. No, he's not going to leave like that. And he deserves a farewell tour. Regardless of how you may feel about LeBron, us as Kobe fans, I used to argue Kobe versus LeBron all the time.
I
I still
still
respect.
argue that.
Yeah, I mean, I still argue it, but I respect how good LeBron as a player. So he deserves a farewell tour too. So I don't think LeBron would leave like that. I think he wants to try to get one more before he retires. Yeah, and I just can't see it. But I do feel like he might say he's saying what he's saying to put some pressure on the Lakers to put a team around him to win the title because he can't do it. And clearly his right hand man don't want to say, you know what, Brian, give me the torch. I got you. He don't want to do that. So no.
Anthony Davis still has to do that. This
Yeah.
team, at the end of the day, gave up 3 first-round draft picks to get you here in LA, to
Yeah.
get you out of New Orleans, to partner you with LeBron, which is exactly what Anthony Davis wanted. You
Yeah.
wanted your big contract, you got that too. You wanted an NBA Finals ring, you got that too. Well, guess what? Now this is what we want. We want you to take that torch. We want you to take over games. We want you to show up in all games, not just some games, but all games, because he did have an up and down rocky road throughout the entire postseason. We're not going to pretend like these are not the facts, and we have not seen that, even though there's going to be some Anthony Davis lovers that are going to be like, well, this Laker team, this Laker team. I think the moral of the story, Lakers as a team was a little too inconsistent, and Darvin Ham was a little too stubborn with his
Mm-hmm.
acts within his schemes. And I think
That's a
that with
fact.
the entire offseason, that is more than enough time to fix all of that because the talent is right there. It's only one bad apple I see in that tree right now on a consistent basis. And unfortunately, that's D'Angelo Russell. I try to defend D'Angelo Russell on so many ways and so many times, like to so many standards. But unfortunately, he put me in a position where I no longer can defend him. I
Yeah.
can't defend you when all you do is to prove everybody
Yeah.
else right, prove all the
Yeah.
naysayers right, and prove people like you, I, and others who consistently defended him on public platforms, even on
Yeah.
their own talk shows. Me up here on the mic bomb, you up there in Sports After Dark and other shows.
Yeah.
It's like we defended him so many times, but we can't do it no more, man.
He left us
It's
hanging.
over.
He left us hanging, man. He left us hanging. That Western Conference performance was embarrassing. It was embarrassing, man. It's like And you know, this time around, I'm like, you know what, D-Lo, you might be able to work this time around. Like you came in on a different vibe. You might be able to make it. And then Shay, once I saw that series, I said, yeah,
The
man. I'm like,
ball dropped again.
yeah, he dropped the
And it's
ball.
been dropping since game 5 of the Warriors series. We
Yeah.
won that series because Freeze and Rui stepped up.
They turned up. And I just said, D-Lo, man, you was cool here, but we can't win a championship with you as our starting point guard. I hate to say it, but we can't unless
Yeah.
we make these crazy changes everywhere else, and he just come in here and there and fit in. But if we got to use him primarily in our offense to produce to help us win the title, I can't see it. Can't see it.
I can't, man.
I can't see it. I'm sorry. You know, I don't know what we do. You know, they've been rumblings of, you know, we looking at Fred VanVleet. Of course, Kyrie. I'm letting you know now, I love Kyrie. He's my favorite player. He's been my favorite player since Kobe retired. So I would love Kyrie. You know what I mean? I know it might cost us either Reeves or Rui. But in my personal opinion, I can keep. If we can keep Reeves and get Kyrie, I'm cool. I'm cool personally. I know you want to keep Reeves and Rui. I'm cool with that too. I'm cool with that too. I'm with either way. But if they say, listen, Heavy, we can get you Kyrie, but you gotta let one of them go. I'm gonna say, I mean, Rui, I appreciate you, big dog.
Can we have Anthony Davis take a pay cut?
He could. He should. He should. He should.
LeBron and AD take pay cuts, bro.
Yes.
We need Rui. We need them young bucks here because we need life after LeBron. That's what we need. We also need that.
Like Bron never did that before. Bron took pay cuts before when he was in Miami to win titles. So I mean, why not? You'd have made enough money. You'd have made enough money, and you making more than enough money being in LA.
He's a billionaire, if I am mistaken.
Yeah. So like he can.
How the
he
hell
can
you a billionaire as a player? Like Jordan didn't become a billionaire until he retired.
No, yeah, until he retired. Yeah, LeBron's an active billionaire. So it's like you can take that pay cut. You and Anthony Davis, if y'all really want to win, Shay, take them pay cuts, improve the team, get that title, and then that'll put Anthony Davis on a different leg where he'll get his jersey retired if he wins another ring in LA. They'll probably retire his jersey. They'll retire it.
Hey, they retired Paul Gasol after 2 rings. Why won't they retire AD?
You know,
but AD got to show up though.
He do got to show up because Paul. I can tell you one thing: Paul Gasol, he showed up. He showed up. We was able to depend on him that whole time he was here in LA. We was able to depend on him. You know, even when we lost to Boston, he was great in that series too.
Yeah, I think if we would have had Andrew Bynum, we would have beat the Celtics that year.
Oh yeah, he was hurt. He was hurt a lot that first year when we played him.
Yeah, I think he tore his ACL, so he was out. I don't.
It
was
his
remember.
meniscus.
Yeah,
he was hurt. He was hurt a lot in that series, so it just was like, I get it. We'll get it again. We'll give him we'll get another chance. And we ran it back and we saw them again with Bynum on the court. We won.
Right.
You know?
So I think without question, we'll see Denver again, though. We'll definitely see Denver again.
You absolutely know we will see them again. They trust me, especially Mike Malone still talking about us. And you in the NBA Finals, dog. Why are you still talking about the Lakers?
Because they don't take the Heat as serious as they take the Lakers, and they might pay for that.
I agree with that, Shay. Hey, you on to something. They really might pay for that because it's like you going into a game 2 against the Miami Heat and you talking about y'all still sweeping us. It's like it's over.
Lakers are home. We thinking
home.
about 2024.
Yeah, you know, like you should be focusing on that. You shouldn't be even talking anything about the Lakers right now. But I think the problem is because, you know, we are the Lakers. They're going to talk about us. Nothing you can do about it. We can win 10 games next year, and they still going to talk about the Lakers. There's nothing you can do about it.
If it was the NFL, that would be a good season, but cons of being in the NBA.
Hey, seriously. That's what come with it, man. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, but we talked about the young heads. We talked about Reeves. We talked about Hachimura. We talked about D'Angelo Russell, who are all due for contracts this offseason. So you started to chime in on your thoughts on all 3 players. So pretty much continue on that.
Reeves, we pay him. Whatever he wants, pay him. You can tell that because we made that mistake with Alex Caruso. When Caruso was up to be a free agent, we let him walk, and that was a mistake because we could clearly see how much we've needed Caruso since he's left. We've needed him. Do not make that mistake with Austin Reeves.
And Austin Reeves is younger and to me a little more consistent.
For sure, and he's definitely better. Now you can say Caruso was better defensively, but everywhere else, Reeves is the better player. Like you can't make that mistake with him. You pay him. You pay him. He's developing into something
Yeah.
really good for us.
Yeah.
Rui Hachimura, like I said, if we do keep him, I'm totally fine with it. I feel like another year,
Please keep
him
Rui.
being under Bron and working with Phil Handy, Rui got a chance to be something amazing for the Lakers.
He's
He has,
going to be amazing. That's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah, and you can
I
see it like,
tweeted
yeah, go ahead.
Reeves plus Hachimura equals future. Life after LeBron, future Lakers. Cause like, yo, this is our future right here. And they're playing with our present and soon to be our past. We need
I
to keep
agree.
these guys because without question, these young boys, we can build something around that team. And we won't need as much as we would if we was to let them walk. Because
I
yes,
agree.
we need to have this team to win now. No
Yeah,
ifs, ands, or buts about it, but we also need someone to carry the load in the future so that the winning won't stop.
I agree 100%. Like, and you could just tell Rui fit. You could tell the moment wasn't too big for him, especially in the playoffs. Like I'm like, okay, Rui, the moment is not big for you at all. You can definitely you fit that Laker you fit that Laker culture. You fit that. You feel like you could say like, all right, I'm here. I'm not scared of the bright lights and playing for the Lakers. So I'm fine with that. Like D'Angelo Russell, like I said, you got to make your money somewhere else, big dog. I can't see them bringing you back. I wouldn't see a reason. And for the tab that he want, he's not worth the money that y'all gonna be paying him. He gonna be wanting over. I'm thinking he looking at he want like 30 million a year, and it's like he's not a 30 million a year type of a player. You know what I mean? At least even with Austin Reeves, he might get paid more than what he deserved. But the difference with Austin Reeves is like, all right, you can see like he's young. He got so much more room to grow into something amazing, far better than what he is right now. So it's like I'm not mad at y'all rolling the dice on doing that with Austin Reeves, but D'Angelo Russell has hit his ceiling. He's never going to be no better than what he is right now. He is who he is. He's not going to be no better, no worse. So it's like I'd rather
We
y'all.
can only pray for the worst.
That is true, but I'd rather them put that money into just making the team better, making the team better. And I don't feel like he should be. I don't feel like he's a part of making the team better. That's just my opinion. How
Yeah,
do
I
you
think
feel about that?
I mean, he's too inconsistent. I listen, I 100% agree with you. I'm glad we are on the same page about Rui and about Reeves. We need to keep them both in LA by any means cost because like I said, not only is this a team that's not only this is a duo that's going to help us win in the present, but without question they are the future of this team. You know, you got your powerhouse with Rui, and then who can definitely play the hell out some damn offense, who can shoot the hell out the ball, in my opinion. To me, it's an underrated shooter. And then you
Mm-hmm,
got Austin Reeves, who is your damn shooter.
mm-hmm.
Like he said it himself, he's him. And boy, he is. That
He
boy
was
can
showing
really
he was
play.
him. He was
I
showing he
mean,
was
oh
him.
my God. I'm gonna need the Lakers to drop an Austin Reeves jersey. I need them to drop both of their jerseys because I want them both on here. I want
Yeah.
them both. I'm gonna be wearing both of them next season. So I'm gonna need them to hurry up with that. Please, if it's a men's jersey though in the size small, just so you know. But listen, because look, I need them both in LA. I need to listen, D'Angelo Russell, you can go. You can take it like you see the Hollywood sign. You could take it like at least a good 8 miles past there. I don't care whether you walk. I don't care whether you get on the plane. Get out of here. You're useless. Because what we need you for? You're not a powerhouse. You're not a consistent shooter. You're not the parasite. You're not helping us in the present. You damn sure won't help us in the future because you're only going to get older. So obviously your skills might just get limited as you get older. And we already got Reeves. We already got Rui. And then we got LeBron and AD. Well, we got Reeves and Rui for the future. And we got LeBron and AD for the now. You're not better than any of them. I'm questioning, are you even going to be more effective than Obama in a good way for this team? I'm questioning, are you even better than Lonnie Walker at this rate? I'm really
Hey,
questioning all of this. So it's
got a
like,
point
are
there.
you even more consistent than our bench players? Are
I
you?
I would if I had a choice between D'Angelo Russell and Lonnie Walker, I'm taking Lonnie Walker. I'm taking Lonnie Walker.
Because he's better defensively.
Yeah,
Point blank.
and I feel like we could depend on Lonnie Walker more than we could depend on D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, I'm with you there, 100%.
Yeah, I have, but Last question before we head into the NFL, because certain teams play each other the first week. So we're
Oh
definitely gonna get into
man.
that. Listen, we gotta get into that. We gotta get to that. We gonna keep it friendly up here. But let's roll out with the Lakers real quick. What are the expectations for 2024?
Championship or bust. LeBron, he's about to retire. He's about to retire. Championship or bust. He deserved that. You know what I mean? Like we deserve that. We deserve another trophy before LeBron gets out of here. You know what I mean? We need one more from him. And as a Laker organization, Rob Pelinka, they got to do their best to put the right team around him so we can win a title. It's championship or
There's
bust for me.
only one bad apple.
Yeah, get rid of him and put a better team around us, and let's get this show on the road. Now, can Darvingham be a better coach year two? Yes,
He
because
better.
you know what I mean. He had his roller coasters, but overall, I'll probably give him a B minus as for his first year as a head coach. You know, to get to the Western Conference Finals. So
Yeah,
we definitely gotta make some move. But it's championship or bust for me. It ain't no in
I
between.
agree.
Ain't no in
I
between.
agree. I agree because obviously this is the concept exceeding those expectations. Being a 2-10 2-10 NBA team, and then you turn right back around in the Western Conference. Nah, B. We need another chip, especially with the way you fell out. But I think Darvin Ham is definitely going to step his game up. I feel like Reeves and Hooch and Rui are definitely going to be back in LA. I don't see D'Angelo Russell being back in LA. I don't care how cheap he may be, but like you said, I expected to ask for more money because without question he has hit his milestone, but it's still not good enough. And I believe like Rui and Reeves are more reliable and they're younger. And to me, they're going to remain healthier and they're going to be more effective for both the present, which is the win now, and for the future. Because obviously, we want the winning to still continue, even with life after LeBron. I don't think he's a benefit for this team in any way, shape, or form because we ain't building this team and competing as a team for high draft picks. We're competing and we're building this team to win championships. And D'Angelo Russell is
Facts.
just not it. So I think he's gonna go. But like you said, I'm with you, man. Championship or bust. That's
Nothing
it.
less. That's all
That's
we
it.
taking, man. That's all we need. We don't do no moral victories over here. That ain't the move.
Right. All right. Now on to NFL real quick because hey, another team of yours who made it to the conference championship last year. And obviously, it didn't fall out the way you expected. All your quarterbacks is hurt. Your running back was playing the quarterback. But I got to ask you, your thoughts on the San Francisco 49ers, your fellow San Francisco 49ers heading into 2023. What are the expectations?
See, this is. I got to be honest again. I'm gonna have to say Super Bowl or bust because when you can
For
prove
the
that you can get
Niners?
yeah when you can prove that you can get here's the thing. We show we're good enough to make it to the NFC Championship. We've been to the NFC Championship Super Bowl the 3 out of the last 4 years. And if we show that we can get to the NFC Championship with having three different quarterbacks at quarterback, it's clearly mean that we're at a position where it's time to get to the Super Bowl. Our window is closing. We ain't gonna be able to keep this team together with Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Warner, all of them. You know what I mean? We're not gonna be able to keep everybody together. This team is eventually going to break up because everybody's contracts are going to be too expensive to
Oh
keep
yeah,
them.
because Tulona Hufunga's gonna hit y'all.
Yeah, he gonna want to get paid too.
But
You know
that
what I'm
boy is
saying?
fine. Anyway, go ahead.
So it's like we gotta sit there and we gotta win now. And me as a Niner fan, you know what I mean? I seen that Super Bowl in '94, but I was a kid. You know what I mean? I watched us lose two
That's
since then.
how I feel about the damn Steelers.
You know what I
But
mean? Like
still,
I'm at a place now where we need another one. It's either Super Bowl or bust. Now it's gonna be hard because our quarterback position we got Trey Lance that's been hurt. We don't know if he's going to start. Then Brock Purdy he's coming back, but he was hurt too. So we don't know how he's going to be coming off injury. So
oh yeah, buddy, because we could talk about that right now. Because your boy Brock Purdy is expected to be healthy and ready to go in late August. That means he's expected to play against my Steelers in Acrisure Stadium week 1 versus his draft classmate Kenny Pickett. So, what are your thoughts on that matchup? Because I'm
uh,
excited.
I'm excited. It's of course it's football. A lot of my Niner family trying to get me to go to that game. They trying to get me to pull up because I'm in Philly. I'm not that far from Pittsburgh, so they trying to get me to go to that game.
You
Um,
should come.
yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm gonna talk to him about it. I might be in the building for that. Um, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, Shay. If you know on paper, we're much better than y'all. Offensively and defensively, we're
Hmm.
much better than y'all.
Offensively, yeah.
But
I ain't.
the issue with us is the beginning of the season. We always start off like this. The time you don't want to see us is the second half of the season, because that by that time we know what our identity is. We know what we trying to do, and we on a
Yeah, y'all
roll.
pretty tricky.
Yeah,
Y'all
but in the
pretty
beginning of
tricky.
the season, that's your best chance to get it. So I could say, honestly, I could be like, on paper, we should go out there and dominate y'all, and then we'll come out there and lay an egg and lose. Um, I feel like we should win the game. I don't feel like we gonna come out, because like I said, we come out weird. It's a chance that we could only beat y'all by a field goal. It's a chance we could lose by a field goal. I expect us to win. I just don't see Kenny Pickett beating us. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just don't see it.
Oh, really?
I don't see Kenny Pickett beating us. I ain't gonna lie
Oh,
to you.
oh, really? All right. You know what? Listen, listen. I asked, so I shall be told. But I could see that. I see Kenny being better this year than he was last year. But I think where Kenny just did not get the fair chance to me within preparation, because I feel like first thing first, he should have got more reps in practice. Um, the quarterback change between him and Mitch Trubisky should have been made after the Jets game. I
I agree.
mean, not after the Jets game. I think it should have been made after the Patriots game, in my
Yeah, I was about to
opinion.
say, yeah, I think,
After
yeah,
the
yeah,
Patriots
I
game.
agree. Patriots
Because
game
I
for
was
sure.
there for that home opener where Trubisky stunk up the damn joint. That was not the same Mitchell Trubisky we saw in week one against the Bengals. And I'm like, and speaking of which, I felt like if Kenny would have played both games and would have had more preparation, and this is a little hot take, and I know a couple of Bengal fans might watch this podcast and diss it more. So I'm gonna just say it anyway. We could have swept Cincinnati last year. We should have
I
swept them
agree with that.
last year. We
I
should
can
have
agree with
swept them
that.
last year. And I'm actually glad, because that game right there showed me alone. We got ourselves a damn quarterback. Plus, what I saw against the Ravens and the Raiders delivered the goods back to back primetime games. It takes a real dog to do that. I don't care whether you're a
It does.
rookie, a 15-year veteran, even an 18-year veteran like Ben Roethlisberger was. I don't care. When you can do that in a Matt Canada offense, bro, come on. And I think that will be the downfall if the Steelers were to have one. I'm not expecting us to have one. And honestly, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one, buddy. I'm expecting the Steelers to win the game. To win. We have not been home since 2017 in a home opener. We have not kicked off the season at home. We've been on the road more than any team in the league week one. I don't know why they just hate us at home, but I just feel like the defense is going to, come out, make a statement. I expect the same thing with Nick Bosa, Tulona, Hufunga, them fellas, because I know Hufunga's getting offended with people saying Mika's the best safety in the league. I'm saying that, but definitely your boy, I'm putting your boy number 3. Tulana
Yeah,
Hufunga, top 3 safety. I have Mika, I have Doran James, and I have, when all healthy, Tulana Hufunga, because I don't see no other safeties better than him. I don't. And I think, like, he reminds me a lot of Troy Polamalu, and that's probably why I like him a lot, too, because he
that's what
looks
it
like him.
is. That's what it is.
He reminds me a lot, because Troy's my all-time favorite athlete, so that's actually a huge praise for him. But I
Yeah,
think what it is, like, Mika kind of reminds me, and I looked at some film of Ronnie Lott, so he kind of reminds me like a little mixture of him and Rod Woodson. And then you
mm,
have Doran James, to me, who's a more athletic Brian Dawkins.
mm.
Yeah, I think so, because the tackling, the abilities to play the line, and it's just his overall style of play. He reminds me a lot of Brian
I
Dawkins.
like it. I like it. I like
He
yeah, I
does.
like
And
those
then you got
comparisons.
Tulona Hufunga, who just, let's just call it like it is, a skinnier, maybe not as fast, because it was real hard to be as
Yeah,
fast as that
Troy
guy.
was much
Yeah,
faster.
Troy. But listen, you can't get another Troy Polamalu. The best
No,
shot you got is this guy right here.
yeah,
And just like you can't get another Ronnie Lott, you can't get another Brian Dawkins. But these 3 men that I just mentioned, these 3 safeties are your best shots. And that's why they, in my book, ranked where they're ranked, numbers 1 to 3. And then everyone else can fall behind that. I'll definitely put my guy from the Titans, Kevin Board, number 4. And then number 5 is a toss-up, because you could say Jesse Bates, you could say Some people would say Von Bell. Some people would say Gardner or Johnson from the Eagles.
Sidney Gardner
Some
Johnson. Yeah,
somebody would say Justin Simmons. Some people would still say Jamal Adams. It's a toss up with number 5, but
yeah,
you could
yeah.
definitely throw any one of those names up in there, and it'll be and it could be. No one will. I don't think anyone should say anything, but you know how people are. But back to
Yeah,
week 1, I think it's going to be a showdown, and I think honestly, this should have been the night game for week 1.
I
This is a
agree.
night game because let me tell you why. Two, we can definitely agree, two of the best quarterbacks in their respective draft class, in a draft class that didn't have any expectations high at all, where people just pretty much didn't even give a damn to give them a chance. We see how Malik Willis is being treated in
Mm-hmm.
Nashville. We see that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's unfair, and it sucks because he's not the problem. He didn't even have the chance, so I don't get how he could be the issue. And that's why I'm happy about the treatment that the Niners and the Steelers are both giving Kenny Pickett and Brock Purdy, because they're getting a fair chance. They're actually getting a team built around them. I think these two was just no one expected. Okay, Kenny, yeah, everyone expected it because they didn't have that much faith in Mitch Trubisky. Neither
At
really did
all.
I, but I was willing to give it a chance. Week 1 definitely gave me a little bit of hope. I jumped the gun a little bit, but you don't draft a quarterback in the first round and he doesn't become your future, or you don't have plans for him to be your future. Point
That's a
blank.
fact.
And I think everyone says, oh, well, Kenny wasn't drafted in the top 10. But guess what? Neither was Ben Roethlisberger. And you got a good I'll say a good 17 years. 18, throwing wise, you could definitely argue mobility just wasn't there, unfortunately. Um, it sucks that I have to say that. But I think he still had it in him just a little, but the mobility just was not there. And I think that's why a lot of people say it's time for him to go. But back to Brock Purdy now. He was the last quarterback selected. If I'm not mistaken, they say he was the last draft pick.
Mr. Irrelevant.
And well, he's definitely relevant now. No
Yeah.
question. No question. You got Paul Heyman hyping him up. Oh, do I have to say anymore?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. He
I
made a
was
name
so
for himself.
happy. I was so happy. Honestly, I started rooting for Brock Purdy when that I saw that. I was like, oh man, you got my favorite talk man. That if I was to become an athlete, I want that guy behind me. I would love to be a Paul Heyman girl. I just love Paul Heyman so much. And when you got that guy, he's like, yeah, you got a new quarterback in town. His name is Brock Purdy. I was like, wow. And then you saw the picture of him. I was like, okay, I can see that. That was actually pretty dope. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a showdown. I think it should definitely be the night game because you got arguably, when healthy, you know what? No, scratch that. Without question, when healthy, the two best defenses in the league. Top three, yeah, when healthy. I think two of the best defense in the league. I
The
think if
Steelers
Pitts, yes,
over the
yes.
Eagles, over the Cowboys.
I mean, I'll take him over the Cowboys, D, because I trust the Steelers secondary before I trust Dallas secondary. And honestly, the defensive line position, I kind of got questions about in Dallas because Mika Parsons is a stud, no question. But can we question everything around that?
I mean, Demarcus Lawrence was really good for them last year. Their defensive line
Yeah.
was pretty good
Is
last
he
year.
Cameron Hayward?
I mean, Cameron Hayward's a dog. He's a Hall of Famer. I would never. Yeah,
And
he's
then
a dog.
you see with Alex Highsmith, plus the
Yeah,
additions that we added in the draft, which I'm definitely excited about both drafts. I think both teams did well in the draft, but I'm definitely excited to see Joey Porter Jr. to me is an upgrade from what we had at cornerback
that was a
last
good
year.
pick.
And Patrick Peterson, I was shocked about, but I'm expecting him to be more, excuse me, of the mentor than the QB1. I think he's going to be QB2 or CB2, correct
Mhm.
me, and Joey Porter Jr. is going to be CB1 because one, like I said, 32nd overall pick. Obviously, he's younger. He's definitely going to mold in. I don't think it's going to take him that long because I think, honestly, low key, I think he was training there this whole damn time and just knew he was going back there. I really think that.
Probably did. I mean, he
Uh,
went to Penn State, so he was close.
yeah,
He
he
was
was too
close.
close, and he's always been right in the back with his dad, who played for the Steelers, won Super Bowls for the Steelers. So I
Yeah,
already know his father probably throw mud in his face, saying, "Yeah, this is what's gonna be. Get up, get up."
yeah,
You can only imagine
yeah.
how peasy he is, but it's just that it's gonna be an exciting matchup, and I'm glad it's actually the first week. I'm not gonna tell anyone. You know what? As a matter of fact, yeah, I'm not gonna tell anyone whether I'm going or not. I'm gonna just let it. I'm gonna just let it be announced around the time if I'm going or not. But
Okay.
you and I both know what's up.
Hey,
Um, but yeah,
I mean, one thing I will say about y'all, Shay, y'all draft really good. Steelers always draft really good.
yeah,
Y'all,
and
y'all be
honestly,
finding, y'all find gems, y'all find diamonds in the rough, man. I think George Pickens is going to be a breakout player for y'all this year, especially offensively.
and
I
that's
think
why I
he,
think it's going to
yeah,
be a huge factor in Kenny's development, along with the addition of Darnell Washington. I
yeah,
think Najee and Jalen Warren is definitely going to take it up a notch with a much upgraded offensive line. Broderick Jones, I am definitely excited about
yeah.
because
That
I
was a
said
great
it.
pick. Great
That
pick.
dude will beat you up.
Yeah, that was a great
Darnell
pick.
Washington will beat you up. And then people forget you still got Pat Fryermuth. You still got Zach Gentry, who is a great run blocker. And you got a lot of these guys. So and then you got Darnell Washington, who's just basically both of them combined, but obviously with more speed and physicality. Then you got the defense. You can't forget about the defense. You can't forget about TJ Watt. You can't forget about Alex Highsmith because Alex Highsmith made a lot of people pay last year for underestimating him for TJ Watt. And he honestly kind of exposed the recipe to why Watt was able to get the things he got off because the fact that okay, you could double and triple team Watt all you want, but we're gonna make you pay over here because if you don't have no one guarding me, that big play that you're trying to stop him from doing or trying to prevent from happening is going to happen. It's either going to be me or it's going to be Big Cam, but it's like you can't block them all, and that's really going to be a problem for a lot of teams this year. So honestly, I could say this right now, and this is me being completely transparent. I'm already predicting you guys to win your division, even with Seattle still there. But honestly, would I be wrong if I say the Steelers just win the AFC North this year? Would I be wrong?
I mean, you wouldn't be wrong because y'all do good in y'all division against y'all competition. Like what is it? Who is the team that hasn't beaten y'all since like 2016 or something like that? Who is that?
That
Is
was the
that
Ravens.
that's the Ravens? Okay.
Yeah, and your co-hosts try to sit there and say that it's going to be between them and the other team, and and I'm like, hold up, we're the ones who had the Ravens number more than everybody. We're the Browns' big brother, who this other team struggled against, and we split the series with the other team last year, and we were the
Yeah.
one who had starters in and out, not them. So it's
Yeah.
like honestly, and this is why, and this goes back to what I was saying a little bit in Sports After Dark. I can't fear a team who split the series with the whole damn division in a reload and rebuilding phase. I can't fear
That's
that
true.
team.
You
You
got a point.
lost your top two safeties. Losing Jesse Bates and Von Bell, especially losing Jesse Bates, is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt that damn secondary because to me, he was the most, not only the most reliable and your best tackler, but he stopped a lot of big plays from happening last year. You're not gonna have that reliability, and I don't think Dax Hill is gonna cover that. It's not, and I don't think he's gonna cover Von Bell either. I don't. I don't. I think Dax Hill is an NFL caliber player, but he's not an NFL caliber starting player, and that's gonna hurt the Bengals. The Bengals are about to find out that honestly, cheaper ain't always better. And we are now in an era where you have to pay your damn DBs, and they have
Right.
dropped the ball with him and Von Bell both, and
Yeah, I
they're
think
gonna
that's
pay
gonna
for
hurt them.
that.
I think them
It's gonna
hurting
hurt
losing
them, and
Jesse
then the
Bates and Von
offensive,
Bell is gonna hurt them.
and then you got the offensive line that is questionable. Every defensive line in this division on paper has gotten better. Your
That's a
offensive
fact.
line is question marks. Yes, you got Orlando Brown. Yes, you got Leo Collins, but Leo Collins don't seem like a match with TJ Watt. If anything, he only exposed the TJ Watt show even more. Then you got Alex Highsmith that's coming to a show. So is Alex Copper going to be the answer? And then okay, you got okay, let's say here, who else did you get? You did get Orlando Brown, but guess what? The Steelers got Nick Herbig. The Steelers got Kenti Bentu. The Steelers also signed Holcomb in the offseason. The Steelers has got some couple of pieces around them. And then you still got Cameron Hayward still in the mix. Then you still got Minka Fitzpatrick back there. So who's gonna be your tight end? Because you're gonna throw that ball near Minka or you're gonna throw that ball near Keenan.
Mm.
He's the enforcer for the reason. Then you got Joey Porter Jr. to me, and Patrick Peterson to me on paper, who's a much upgrade than the cornerback room we had last year. And it's like slowly but surely, yes, you got a bomb ass wide receiving core, no question. I never denied that. But can we talk about everything else? Are you really gonna give everything else an A? Because I can't give a quarterback who is 7-8 in the division that he claimed to be the big dogs of and split the series with the whole damn division in a reloaded rebuilding phase. All my entire life of fandom, this was the worst AFC North division I have seen on paper ever in a 3-4 ratio.
I can
The
say that too.
worst.
I can agree to that.
The worst AFC, and the best you can give everybody is a damn 3-3 record. and a
Yeah.
fluke victory against the Ravens.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to fear that, and that's what I was trying to explain in Sports After Dark before I was cut off. But you got to think about all of that. Yes, okay, the Bengals could have gotten better, but are they going to be good enough to repeat as the AFC North champions, especially with being handed the AFC North title
They
the
definitely
second
got it
ring?
handed to them. They did. They definitely got it handed to them.
And and here's another thing I want to land before I land anything to you. Um, let's think about this. I say the AFC Championship game last year exposed too many damn flaws. Even if Bates and Bells was there, it's gonna be a down year either way. Either way, that AFC Championship game, yes, it's Patrick Mahomes, but it was an unhealthy Patrick Mahomes. It was an unhealthy Kansas City Chiefs team, and they exposed too many damn flaws, particularly in that cornerback room, for them to be walking in here all confident as they are. And yeah, you could say they were playing with backup offensive linemen, but here's a fun fact: that backup offensive lineman was the same offensive lineman that was the starters when they went to that Super Bowl the previous year. Yeah, the same Super Bowl they haven't shut the hell up about ever since. So your backups were once starters. You
Yeah.
thought what you had now was an upgrade when you should have just gelled and drafted. And honestly, they're gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
They're gonna pay for that. You don't kick out
Yeah.
that much money for offensive linemen, especially offensive linemen that getting bounced around the league. They're getting bounced around for a reason.
And they ain't as good as you think they are.
They're not. And I keep telling everybody, you know what? Before we even get into that, let's talk about this because honestly, I'm gonna ask this question. So obviously, you got your Niners beating my Steelers week one. I got my Steelers beating your Niners week one. Obviously, because we both feel like those are statement weekends or statement weeks for both teams. Steelers haven't been home since 2017. Niners is waiting to make a statement with a healthy Brock Purdy. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be the showdown in the class of 2022. And I think this might be the game, regardless of who wins, that they're going to show you that their class was overlooked and that you should take their class more serious when it comes to the future.
Gotcha.
But we talked about 2023 season.
Right.
And we talking about the postseason.
Right.
Let's look at all the teams who made the playoffs last year in the AFC. Let's look at all the teams who made the playoffs last year in the NFC. Now in the AFC, it was the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, the Jags. Then it was the Ravens, and
Chargers,
then Chargers,
Dolphins.
and then Dolphins. So out of all those teams who has made the playoffs, you can pick between the numbers 1 and 2 of the teams. Who do you have missing the playoffs this season? Out of those AFC teams that made the playoffs last year. Because I could tell you my pick, but I'm going to let you go your pick first.
Out of all the teams that made the playoffs this last year, who I see not making it?
Yeah. Who's going home this year? Who would not make it?
If anybody, I probably would have to pick the Chargers. I mean, the Jags, I feel like the Jags are going to win the AFC South. I feel like they're going to win their division.
Easy money.
Yeah. Josh Allen, they're good enough to get them to the playoffs. The Dolphins have gotten better, with the upgrades they have made, and they might get Dalvin Cook to make them even better.
With Raheem Mostert, that's going to be a dangerous duo if the O line can hold up.
Can't never count 15 out in Kansas City. You can't never count him out, so they'll be in the playoffs. If Lamar Jackson is there the whole year, the Ravens will make the playoffs.
Definitely. Definitely.
I can't see the Bengals not making the playoffs. I can see the Bengals making the playoffs too. Yeah, so if I had to pick a team, it would be the Chargers.
Okay. I understand because the Chargers, well, they did get Quentin Johnson. They still do got question marks on the offensive line. Maybe in the secondary outside of LeBron James. I think so. So I could definitely see why. But I got two teams. I can see the Chargers not because of their division. Depending on how Jimmy G plays in Las Vegas this year, could definitely shake heads in that division. And then we definitely expecting a bounce back from Russell Wilson with Sean Payton now being the head coach in Denver. So it's definitely going to make it tougher for the Chargers to make it back to the playoffs. But honestly, It's between them and the damn Bengals. And everybody gonna be like, oh, you're a Bengals hater. Listen, I'm not. I'm not a Bengals hater, but I can't count out the Ravens. I can't do it.
Absolutely not.
With
No.
OBJ, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, a healthy Lamar Jackson with a much
Yeah.
upgraded offensive line, that
Yeah.
secondary's gotten younger and better. I think Kyle Hamilton is going to be a problem for a lot of people for the next 5 to 10 years. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I actually wanted him in Pittsburgh, but I'm actually glad we got Kenny. Um, the running game, which is extremely underestimated in Baltimore, which is going to help them out. It's going to spread the field. It's going to allow Lamar Jackson to use his feet more because it's going to tire a lot of defenses out. It's going to allow the wide receivers more time and more creative plays to get open. And I think a guy like Odell, without question, is going to help that, and it's going to be that guy. But I think it's definitely going to remain the Mark Andrews show because I don't see a lot of safeties that could contain him.
No.
So I can't count him. And honestly, if there's one head coach behind Tomlin, behind Belichick, behind Reed that could pull hats out, put tricks out their hats, it's John Harbaugh, who's been doing it for years. Like my Steelers been trying to knock the Ravens out of playoff contention, but everybody else in the AFC just failed to get it done. And that's just been the moral of the story since the Ravens and the Steelers rival has exist. So it's be extremely hard for me to write off a team like that. And knowing the type of coach they have in John Harbaugh. Yeah, you're gonna have your question marks about him, but what head coach don't you? And yeah, the Ravens are a real sneaky, dangerous team, man. And defensively, that defensive line with Roquan Smith is disgusting. Patrick Queen,
Very much so.
disgusting. Disgusting. And honestly, I'm actually glad we made the upgrades that we made at that offensive line this year because we might have been in trouble with that defensive line. I mean, oh my God, it is so nasty in Baltimore. They are getting up in your face, and they're kind of reminding me more of a faster version of what the Ravens once was back in the 2000s, and that spells danger for a lot of people who didn't play against those teams. You wouldn't want to see that team if you did have a healthy offensive line, a good healthy offensive line, and a powerhouse running game. But I gotta go with the Bengals because all the reasons that I said. I gotta go with the Chargers because all the reasons that you said. And with the AFC North and the AFC West both getting better, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be more problematic for both of them. I can't fear a team that split the series with the whole division. I can't. And I think a lot of people are gonna pick up on Chase and Higgins and Boyd this year. And honestly, I got question marks still about the running game behind Joe Mixon. I got a huge question mark about that offensive line. Is how you're going to contain all three of these defensive lines who exposed every flaw your O line had last year. And it's honestly you're 7-8 in the division for a reason. I can't fear a team who find ways to get their ass beat by the damn Browns, who I must admit has gotten better. But honestly, Cleveland future is going to be determined by can Deshaun Watson step his game up? Can he make this Brown offense something that Baker Mayfield couldn't? Can he take this team to the promised land? I don't think it's going to happen, but can he at least bring them to the conversation of it? That remains to be seen. But your cornerback room got question marks, bro. I don't see you having a safety still. I don't think Dax Hill is going to be what they thought he's going to be. He's not. I can see it.
No.
He's not. And I think that loss against Jesse Bates is going to hurt, and it's going to they're really going to pay for it this year. They're
They
really going to
are.
pay for it.
I,
And
I agree with you
you can
100%.
and Mike Hilton, honestly, I apologize. I have to apologize. And I'm apologize again to Kevin Colbert because I ripped Kevin Colbert for letting him go. But now I can see why. Cause bro, you can't cover deep to save your life. You all talk. I'm like, I saw that AFC Championship game. Talk about that whole damn. Honestly, I seen these flaws the whole damn postseason. Your secondary has been terrible, and it's only gotten worse since you have left.
Mm.
And it's like I can't see this team making the playoffs out this division, especially with this arguably being the hardest division in the AFC to win. Maybe
Yeah.
not on paper, but we all know how AFC North ball is. And
Yeah.
honestly, they're getting too cocky, they're getting too arrogant, and this is not the time because you don't know what you're going to get out the Steelers this year. Obviously, you're expecting good things because of what you saw last year and what they left off on, and we know how the Steelers go. But boy, you talk about the Ravens and you talk about the Browns, who without question had your number better than any of us in the past 3 seasons. And you split the whole series. And then on top of that, Your offensive line, question mark. Orlando Brown, question mark. Lel Collins, question mark. Injury prone and question mark. Vice versa with Alex Coppa. And then you have everyone else around them. Do you really have an A-plus player on your offensive line? No. And you're arguably the only offensive line in AFC North that can be said about. That's going to create question marks. And while there's Jacob Dobbins and Edwards in Baltimore, there's Hunt and Chubb or Darnell Johnson and Chubb in Cleveland, there's Najee and Jalen in Pittsburgh. Who the hell is behind Joe Mixon? That's gonna cause some. That's gonna cause some question mark. Your defensive line, can they pick up where they left off last year? They
Mm,
did.
mm.
Can they?
I'm
That's a
a,
huge
hey,
question mark. That's a
hey,
huge question mark. And honestly,
they got some question marks. They do.
the
It's Joe
biggest
Burrow.
question:
It's Joe Burrow that I got confidence in. I just can't see it. As long as they
five
got Joe Burrow,
turnovers,
yeah. But Joe Burrow, I mean, he played better as the year went on, though. Like
seven turnovers against a defense that upgraded.
uh, I just, I just can't see it with Joe Burrow. Long as they got Joe Burrow, they got a chance. Long as they got him, they got a chance.
They got a
I don't know
chance.
if they win the division, but y'all division has a chance to have three teams make the playoffs out of that division. I can say
Honestly, we gonna have to wait and see. I'm gonna wait until later on down the road this off season to make this take, but I ain't gonna say it right now. But I expect the Steelers to win the AFC North division. I'm gonna say that, but that's where I expect the Ravens to play second or the division to be between them two. But honestly, the third team to make the playoffs ain't gonna be what everybody want to hear. So I'm not gonna say that right now.
that.
But let's go to the NFC real quick before we wrap up the show with the last question. The NFC last year, it was the Eagles, it was the Niners, it was the Seahawks, it was, I believe, who else made the playoffs? I should know this.
Eagles, Niners, Seahawks, Cowboys,
Cowboys and
Bucks,
Bucks
Vikings made the playoffs, and
and
the Giants
Vikings
made the
too,
and the
and the
Giants made
Giants.
the playoffs.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I should know the Giants made the playoffs. I'm a New Jerseyan. But anyway, out of all those 7 teams in the NFC, who is not going to make the playoffs this year that made it last year?
Uh, that's not gonna make the playoffs. Out of those teams that made it, I'm gonna have to go with the Giants. They would have to
Ha,
be.
you read my mind.
They would have to be the team I would have to pick. I mean, the Eagles are going to be good again. The Cowboys are. They're going to be even better than what they were last year. Of course, we're
Until the
going to be.
postseason.
Yeah, that's where they do everything during the regular season good. It's the postseason where they had the hiccups at. The Seahawks will be better. You
Stephen A
know,
could tell you about that more than anybody.
yeah, for sure. The Vikings will be better, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions win that division. I like the
I think
Lions a
they're
lot.
gonna win. I think they're
I
gonna
like the
win.
Lions a lot.
But they gotta
Uh,
stop trading players though. They gotta
yeah,
stop trading
yeah.
trading
They
players.
and just keep building what they got going on because they got something good going on in Detroit. I
I'm
like what they
mad they
got
got
going on.
Brian Branch. I wanted Brian Branch in Pittsburgh, man. But I'm
Hey,
glad we got Darnell Washington.
hey, they cooking. They cooking over there. So it's like I would have to go with the Giants. I feel like Daniel Jones. He got a lot to prove now because they paid you. They calling you Danny Millions now. So now you got to show that you're worth the millions that they
And
paying
not
you.
worth the dime.
Yeah, and then Saquon Barkley. He ain't signed his franchise tag. They don't even know what they're gonna do with him yet. I don't know if he
Yeah.
showed up to OTAs or nothing yet, but they gotta pay
I
him.
haven't heard anything.
Yeah, and if they don't got Saquon, that makes them even worse offensively because he was their best player offensively. So yeah, if I had to pick a team, it would be the Giants.
Got you. And you just took every word out my mouth. I got the Giants. Unfortunately, it breaks my heart to say it, but I haven't seen much strive for them this draft. I haven't seen much strive for them this offseason. Not having Saquon Barkley, it might hurt them. I think they're gonna mess around and trade him because they're not gonna pay him the money he wants. They don't feel like he is. He's not gonna sign that franchise tag, or he might sign it at the end of the year. But still, your offensive line, your defensive line, your secondary question marks. You don't have really any receivers. And who's your well, you got Darren Walker, but
They
what
do
other
got
depth do you
they do
have?
got Waller. I forgot they had Waller.
Yeah, Waller. Correct me. I said Walker, Waller.
It's
But
all good.
who else? But who else do you have? It's
Yeah,
gonna be
I don't.
question marks. So who's your running game behind Saquon? Say Saquon goes down. Are you gonna have at least? You don't even have a running back number 3 on your team. A number 2, like you don't have anybody right now, and that's gonna create question marks. And honestly, Washington probably gotten better. That's still, remains to be
Mm-hmm.
seen. But we all know Dallas and Philly are going to be in the dance. We're not going to
Oh
act
yeah,
like
for
they ain't
sure.
facts. Then you got to look at the rest of the NFC. You still got the Vikings with the conversation. Adding Brian Flores is definitely going to be an upgrade. I'm expecting to see a lot of improvement from the Vikings defensively this year. You know what it is with Kirk Cousins. You know what it is with Justin Jefferson, who's to me is going to have a milestone year this season. I'm actually excited to watch that. Then who else in the NFC? You still got your Niners. You still got the Seahawks, who I projected both teams to make the playoffs. Then you still got the Rams, who a lot of people are forgetting about. We don't know what really we're going to get out of them. They might be a dark horse pick to make the postseason, but they look better right now than the Giants without question, because if push come to shove, my money's on Stafford before it's ever on Daniel Jones. Sorry, especially with Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald right there to back him up.
Mm.
Um, and Sean McVay, yeah, you really can't count out the Rams.
No.
Then you have the NFC South. You got that division up, a toss up. You got the Panthers, you got the Falcons, you still got the Bucks, even though they're the defended champions. But I think I speak for both of us. They're not going to win that division this year.
No.
And then you still got the Saints, who did acquire Derek Carr this offseason, with Michael Thomas coming back, Alvin Kamara coming back, Cam Jordan coming back, Marshawn Lattimore coming back. You got some heavy hitters in the NFC. So it's gonna be, to me, completely difficult for the New York Giants to make it back to the postseason with no type of progression this offseason.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. They're the team I would look at like, y'all had a good first year, but you know what I mean? A lot of people in
Yeah,
y'all same conference got better. So
I
I just
think they're gonna have a setback.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Last question before we wrap the show up is this question right here. Obviously, the Niners quarterback position is going to be determined possibly between Brock Purdy and, former top 5 draft pick, I believe, in the NFL draft, Trey Lance. So Jimmy G departed to from the 49ers to the Las Vegas Raiders this offseason. What are your thoughts on Jimmy G's departure to the Raiders first before we get to the next question?
About time. He's been he we us as Niner fans, we've been wanting Jimmy to go. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he did some good things while he was here, but it was clearly it made clear we couldn't win a Super Bowl with him. Couldn't. You know what I mean? Jimmy hit his ceiling. He wasn't gonna get no worse or better. You know what I mean? And it was what it was. Raider fans, I pray for y'all because
So, do
y'all
you feel about Jimmy G how you feel about D'Angelo Russell on the Lakers?
they're definitely identical. Absolutely. They're definitely identical. I feel the same exact way about Jimmy Garoppolo the way I feel about D'Angelo Russell. And Raider fans will see why us as Niner fans, we was ready for him to roll. Like it was, you know what I mean? We had our chances to get better at the quarterback position. Kyle played with it. You know what I mean? Now we in a tough spot now. So
Yeah. Um. Okay. Well, who should be, in your opinion? Of course, all these questions, your opinion, but this is definitely yours. I would love to hear it. Who should be QB1 heading into 2023? In other words, who should be the starting quarterback? Brock Purdy or Trey Lance? If you had to pick one right now, who are you picking?
all right. All right, so I'll say this first. Regardless of who we pick between the two, I'm fine with either one. My only argument was that I felt like Trey Lance deserves a chance because you know what I mean he lost his chance to being hurt. So I just wanted him to get a chance because we gave Jimmy chance over and over and over again. You know what I mean? We need to give Trey Lance that same chance. I'm cool with whoever starts. However, if I gotta pick one, I'm gonna go with Trey Lance because from a talent aspect, Trey Lance has a higher ceiling than Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy did a lot of great things for us last year that made me confident enough. If he was our starting quarterback, I won't have no issue with it because he showed us we can win playoff games with him, and he got poised to him. The moment is not too big for it, so I'm fine with it. And our offense looked much better with Brock Purdy than it did with Jimmy Garoppolo. Our offense, we were getting the red zone and we were scoring touchdowns. We wasn't kicking field goals. So, but I just feel like our offense can hit a level that we've never seen with Trey Lance because he has the stronger arm. He has the legs. Kyle can be more creative with Trey Lance than he can with Brock Purdy. So if I had a choice, I would pick Trey Lance.
Okay, that's fair. Um, Unfortunately, that's all I have for you for the show, but we did get a good hour in, maybe a good half an hour or so, but we talked about some great things and we
Yeah.
said what needed to be said pretty much. So we're wrapping up the show right now. Once again, Mr. Heavy, thank you for joining the show. Thank you for joining me on this episode. If you guys haven't already, please give this guy a follow on Twitter at Young Heavy, and please tune in to Sports After Dark. Please request to speak as they are offering you to drop your great takes on the topics that remains where they cover the NBA, NFL, and are there any other sport leagues that you guys cover on Sports
Uh,
After Dark before we
we
promote
talk we
this?
talk we talk WNBA. We're definitely starting to get into boxing more now. So yeah, we definitely starting to cover a lot of more grounds instead of just football and basketball. We definitely starting to make our rounds to other sports. Definitely.
Okay, and tell the people when they should drop into Sports After Dark. What days are you guys ready to go?
See, now we just go at the nights of the NBA Finals. We might have something here and there in between, like because we do a lot of top five lists and stuff like that. But I could tell you right now, Wednesday for sure after the Miami Heat and Denver Nuggets game, that we definitely go live. You can find us at Sports A Dark _ on Twitter, and we come on right after the game is over. But football season, we are on all the primetime days: Sunday, Monday, Thursday, all 3 days. We on after all the games are on Sunday. After Sunday night football, we on. After Monday night football, we on. Thursday night football, we on. You can catch us.
Hey, that's what's up. We need another talk show up in here. So if you guys are not going to tune into the Mike Bomb where all the leagues are being covered, please tune in and please support Sports After Dark. Once again, follow my guy on Twitter at Young Heavy. Follow your host, May Shayla, or you know what? No, we ain't even gonna put my government out there. Follow your host Shay at Shay Max Sports on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, and everywhere else on social media, pretty much. This is your host Shay, your special guest Young Heavy, all signing out, and this has been the Mike Bomb Podcast. Welcome to the Mike Bomb Podcast, the podcast where the bombs get thrown. Thank you for tuning in to the latest episode. This is your host, May Shayla, exiting out. But before I do, I would like to take the time to thank everyone who has subscribed, followed, and listened to the podcast, and for your overall support and love. If you are interested in getting more news and updates about the podcast, such as new episodes, new seasons, you can now subscribe and follow the podcast on your favorite platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora Radio, Google Podcasts, and much more. Or you can visit www.themikebomb.com for news updates within your favorite sport leagues, along with more news about the podcast. Thank you for your support, and see you next episode.
This is my night, this is my pain, this is my life, this is what I was born to do, I was born to do, every new day, every new night, every new stage, every new fight, this is what I was born to do, I was born to do, fall to my knees every night and I pray.